We're well past our time, but I promised to go through 36. You guys okay with going through it now, or you want to come back next week and do it? You want to finish it up? All right, thumbs up. All right, let's finish it up. I'll read for brevity of time. It says, now the chief fathers of the families of the children of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph, came near and spoke to Moshe and before the leaders, the chief fathers of the children of Israel. And they said, Yahuah commanded my Lord Moses to give the land as an inheritance by lot to the children of Israel. And my Lord was commanded by Yahuah to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. And just for a quick, recap, so we understand, the inheritance went to the oldest sons, right? Well, here you had a situation where Zelophehad was an upright man. He was a man of stature, but he had no sons. So his daughters went to Moses back in chapter 27, and they said, well, wait a minute. I understand, they're getting land, but what about us? Our father didn't have a son. He had 5 daughters, and remember, we connected the inheritance of the mother of the daughters coming from their father. We connected that to Mary. Her inheritance became Joseph's, which was the father of Messiah, the earthly father of Messiah. And we saw how that decision made it possible for his bloodline to be correct on both sides, right? Because of what happens here. And I broke that down. But for brevity of time, I just wanted to bring that to your remembrance, because if there wasn't clear instruction about what happens with the daughters, then there's going to be confusion. So let's read on. You guys with me so far? Thumbs up. Everybody good? All right. So he says, okay, he said, verse, where did I leave off? Verse 2, my Lord has commanded, or was commanded by Yahuah, to give the inheritance of our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. Now, if they are married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the children of Israel, then their inheritance will be taken from the inheritance of our fathers and will be added to the inheritance of the tribe into which they marry. So it'll be taken from the lot of the inheritance. And when Jubilee of the children of Israel comes, then their inheritance will be added to the inheritance of the tribe into which they marry. So their inheritance will be taken away from the inheritance of the tribe of the fathers of their fathers. So remember, in the day of Jubilee, all possessions went back to the tribes, right? And the forefathers of the tribes. Every 49th, 50th year, it goes back to the tribe. So what they're saying is, listen, what's going to happen, if, these women that have this inheritance from their father, they want to go and marry Judah, or they want to marry Simeon or these other tribes, then the inheritance that's supposed to be for our tribe, we lose it. It goes to them. So here's the conclusion. Here's the resolution to that. Verse 5, then Moses commanded the children of Israel according to the word of Yahuah, saying, what the tribe of the sons of Joseph speak is right, right? They're absolutely correct, he's saying. That is what Yahuah commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry whom they think best, but they may marry only within the family of their father's tribe, right? So they have to marry within the tribe so that the tribe as a whole, because there are no sons, doesn't lose the inheritance, and that inheritance goes to another tribe. They have to marry within the tribe. So the inheritance, verse 7, of the children of Israel shall not change hands from tribe to tribe for every one of the children of Israel shall keep the inheritance of the tribe of his father. Verse 8, and every daughter who possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be the wife of one of the family of their father's tribe, so that the children of Israel may each possess the inheritance of his father, right? So they're making sure, they're making provision for the tribe as a whole, that because this amendment was added into the law to prevent a father that had no sons from losing his inheritance, it goes to his daughters. They now have to marry within the same tribe of their fathers, right? So they can't go be looking over at Judah to see how cute those men are, how handsome those strong those men are. They got to stay in the tribe of Manasseh, right? Verse 9, thus no inheritance shall change hands from one tribe to another, but every tribe of the children of Israel shall keep its own inheritance. Verse 10, just as Yahuah commanded Moses, so did the daughters of Zelophehad. And here are his daughters, Mela, which means sickness or disease. I'm not sure what that's about. Tirzah, which means pleasant or beauty. Hogla, which means partridge. Milcah, which means queen or council. And Noah, and this is a different from Noah in Genesis, Noah's Ark. This is a female version. I think Noah means rest or peace. But this female version, Noah, means quiver or tremble. So these are the 5 daughters, were married to the sons of their father's brothers. And this just means their kinsmen, not, they didn't marry their cousins, so to speak, but of the men of the tribe, the brothers of their fathers, they married. They were married into the families of the children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of their father's family. Verse 13, these are the commandments and the judgments which Yahuah commanded the children of Israel by the hand of Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. So we see they're on the edge right before they cross over, where these final instructions were solidified concerning land, concerning inheritance, and we have a clear understanding of what Yahuah wants from the nation. And, you know, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5 says this, but with most of them, Elohim was not well pleased, for their bodies were scattered in the wilderness. Speaking of the Israelites, speaking of this time, speaking of the book of Numbers we just came through. Now these things became our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted, and do not become idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. And we know that was the perversion that they were encountering. Nor let us commit sexual immorality, as some of them did. And in one day, 20,000 fell. Nor let us tempt Messiah, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed by serpents. Nor complain, as some of them also complained and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now, all these things happened to them as examples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the ages have come. Praise Yah. Therefore, let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. No temptation is overtaking you except such that is common to man, but Elohim is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will also make a way of escape that you may be able to bear it. Praise Yah. So clearly, this is a culmination of what we just read through in this book Numbers, and thus far from Genesis to the brink of going into Deuteronomy, we have, this book of warfare, Numbers, that we just completed, as an example. Everything that they dealt with, we also deal with. The things that they think of, the things that they scheme, the things that they ponder, we have those same ideas, the reminiscing and only remembering the good things when we were living in a bed of sin. All of those things are brought forth in the nation for us to see. All of these things are common to man. The temptations are common to man. The temptations are not, or I can overcome these temptations by us adhering to his word. So praise Yah that we have these types, this pattern that we can follow and not follow at the same time in the book of Numbers. So man, what a book that we got through. So much there for us, and very, very looking forward to moving into the book of Deuteronomy to finish up Torah. Praise Yah, Brother Charles and Sister Iris.
Yeah, another pattern and example of what you're talking about with the daughters, not having man having all daughters. In First Chronicles 23, 20 through 22.
Yeah.
I'll just read it real quick. First Chronicles 23, verse 20. Of the sons of Uziel, Micah was the first, and Jesha the second. The sons of Miriam were Mahali and Mushi. The sons of Mahali were Eleazar and Kish. And Eleazar died and had no sons, but only daughters. And their brethren, the sons of Kish, took them as wives. So praise Yah.
Praise Yah, absolutely. Thank you, brother. Sister Iris.
I have a question.
Sure.
And I don't know if this has anything to do, but we have read in the last months or so, Leviticus now, and now that he's saying that he didn't want these women to be mixed with the other nations, those specific nations, and there was a reason why, right? How do we correlate that to now? Because like we keep reading how much he hates the mixture, even when he released the Israelites, and he said, don't mix with the women of Canaan and all this. Like, what is that now? Can we personally, how do we put that together? You understand my question? Like,
how does that correlate to contemporary time? Like now?
Yeah.
So so one of the things that you have to remember when it comes to Yah speaking about the nations, everything that culminates them, their ways, their thinking, their belief system, the way they live, those are the things that Yah didn't want mixed up within the way that he had the nation of Israel. And those are the things that would infiltrate the nation and implode it from within. That's why Moab tried to use sexual immorality, sexual perversion to entice the Israelites so that they would implode from sin from the inside out. They wouldn't have to go to war because they would be kicked out or put to death because it violated Yah's laws. So when Yah speaks of other nations and their way, their lifestyle, their beliefs, the same way he spoke to Solomon, same way he speaks to, every war, not to take on their ways and the ways of those people. Today he's saying, if you believe in me, if you trust me, if you follow me, then the mate that you take should also. You don't go looking for somebody in another faith. Like, you're not strong enough. I don't care how strong you think you are. Love for that other person will guide you away from your Elohim. there are many, many opportunities, in that regard for us, to be patient and find what Yahuah wants for us. I often use the example of Adam, how he named all of the animals and Yah put him to sleep, seeing that he needed a mate. It doesn't say that Adam needed a mate, but he put him to sleep and he gave him Eve when his eyes opened. There's certain parts of us, if we are single, that are alive, ask Yahuah to put them to sleep until he puts that person in our life that awakens them. Yah has someone for all of us, and if we love him, he loves us. He's going to take care of us. But to settle, to go outside the nation, to go outside your belief system, your lifestyle, just because you're lonely, is a mistake. And it's easier said than done. It's a difficult process, but it's a rewarding one if we faint not. The rewards that he has for us are we are unable to number. I should say. I was trying to grab the word, but our blessing is right over the hill. We just got to continue to climb it. So I hope that helps, sister. And,
yeah. So it's spiritual. We're talking about spiritual union, being connected, spiritual, not, how you hear, like, how can I put this without being so other nations, other races has nothing to do with unequally yoked and
race?
other.
No.
Yeah. So it's a spiritual having that, like, with me, like you said. Yeah, I got it. You said it beautifully.
The nation itself is not based upon race.
Mm-hmm.
You have people of the same race that were of different nations.
Yep. Correct.
I mentioned earlier during the gospel study, Isaac and Ishmael were brothers. One was called a Hebrew, one wasn't. It's not based upon race. It's not even based upon bloodline. It's based upon your experience with Yah and those who also had experience with Yah. That's why Yahushua said, my mother and my brother are those who follow and do the will of Yahuah. That's what it's based on. Are they following and doing the will of Yahuah? Has absolutely nothing to do with race. That is a distraction, and it's a travesty that is happening to believers all over the world. And it's a false doctrine. Well, now there are races, that have a specific belief system that we're not supposed to tie into, but no one is eliminated from being a Hebrew. A Hebrew is one that crosses over from one understanding to another, those that follow Yahuah. He was called Israel when he held on to Yahushua and didn't let go until he received his blessing. That's when he was called Israel. Praise Yah. All right.
And
praise Yah. Sister Lisa.
I just wanted to expound on that mixing. For me, I had a lot of conviction when I would mix things, not just like in regards to relationship, but to me, I feel like when we sin, it's like a form of mixing. It's like a offering that strange incense or whatever to the Father. Like, he talks about mixing in a lot of different aspects, like do not mix the fodder, do not mix certain animals. Mixing for me just represents anything that goes against what Yahuah designed for us. He even talks about, like, do not split the seed, like, how they genetically modify food. do not wear wool and linen, like you're mixing those two garments. So
Yeah,
I
let me
was
say
just,
something about that. A lot of
go
people
ahead, brother.
mistake that to a lot of people mistake the wool and linen to mean any fabrics. Like you're not supposed to mix any fabrics, which is ridiculous. He specifically says wool and linen, one from a seed, one from an animal, right? Don't mix it, right? And you know, there's other properties attached to that, but those are the only two he says don't mix. But go ahead, sister.
Yeah, and when I came across those verses, when I was praying about certain things, he specifically brought up that one, and he told me, like, by the rock, my garment was mixed. Like, I had like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and I was trying to continuously come close to him with this strange rock that's like, it's better just to stay away, you know, if someone's going to be in sin. He's not for mixing, and I agree with you. It's not in regards to race. It's just being unevenly yoked, or to me, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, this has to do with sin and spiritual righteousness.
Absolutely.
Shalom.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you know, we're going to continue to clarify these things and shoot down these false beliefs that hinder us in our snares and traps. And Yah doesn't want, he's going to clear all these things up, you know, little by little. As we go through scripture, there's no stone unturned, you know, and if the stone is too heavy, we come back and we get more people and we lift it up the following week. We're not going to leave each other hanging in regards to understanding and knowing his word and living by, because we got to live by it. So we got to understand it to live it, you know, and these questions and these answers help us through. So praise Yah. This has been a beautiful book to journey through with you guys, and, you know, excited for the book of Deuteronomy as well. So read ahead so that we can have these same types of intelligent conversations and reasoning so that we can do what Yah told us to do and go through his word and sift out everything that he has for us. So praise Yah. This concludes the book of Numbers. Our next meeting, we go into the book of Deuteronomy. Probably start off with an intro and then try to get into the first chapter if we have time. But praise Yah and Shabbat Shalom.
Toda Robah, praise Abba Yah, from whom all baraka flow. We hope this video encouraged you today. Don't forget to study to show yourself approved and be like the Bereans who tested everything, according to 2 Timothy 3:15 and Acts 17:11. We assemble every Shabbat and during the week with like-minded believers all over the world, virtually, and sometimes we gather in person for feast days. We have something for the whole family, including children. Discover more on our website at assemblyofyahuah.com, where you can apply to join, give to biblical assembly needs, and find many biblical resources to help you grow in your walk with Yah. To know when we publish new videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Jeremiah 33:3 tells us, call to Yahuah and he will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Much shalom.